Hi folks, it's me again, John. I was reading in the newspaper only today that the government's plans to force all dog owners to take out a third-party insurance for their dogs has been scuppered. They've had to change their mind and withdraw the idea. And the simple reason why is because there have been so many protests from the dog industry, so to speak, that the government, quite embarrassingly, have had to change their mind about it. I thought to myself, wow, how easy it is for these small pressure groups to upset the government plans and bring about such a change as that. And I thought, but when it comes to marginalising Christianity in this country and our kind of Christian morality, we don't seem to have any voices, and we don't seem to be able to change the government at all. If you read on my webpage about the school that showed a class of 7-year-olds, a video of two people chasing each other around the bed and then having sex along the way. Well, I've actually seen the video. I've managed to dig it out and find it, and I've seen it. And I'll tell you, I wouldn't want my grandchildren to watch that. I think it's way too young. 7-year-olds, 5-year-olds, whatever. It's way too young to start teaching them that. And yet we seem to have little voice in these things, really, do we? Last Sunday morning was Mother's Day, and obviously in our church we celebrated this, and I preached a sermon. And I did actually mention this in my sermon, and I said, mothers of the church, mothers of England, so often there have been times in our history in this country when men have failed to accomplish very much, and sometimes women have had to step in and do it. And if you remember your history books, do you remember a girl called Joan of Arc? At a time when French morale was so low, she inspired the men of that nation, who, because of her inspiration, later went on to kick us, the Brits, the English, out of France, simply because of the inspiration that girl put into them back in the 15th century. In the 19th century, do you remember Emily Pankhurst and the suffragette movement? And they fought and won the right for every woman in this country to vote, all done by ladies. Probably more easily you'll remember a lady called Margaret Thatcher. Some of you might smile when I mention her name. I didn't believe in many of her policies, but I have to admit that woman had courage. She took on the whole of the military junta of Argentina and beat them. And then she took on a more formidable enemy, the trade unions of this country, and she beat them also. There are two scriptures I've been reading recently. One is in 2 Samuel chapter 17 and verse 8, and the other one is in Proverbs chapter 17 and verse 12. And ironically, it speaks in there about how fierce and how dangerous are she-bears, that's female bears, that have lost their cubs. And it's not advisable to go anywhere near a she-bear when she's lost a cubs. And I brought this out in my message on Mother's Day, because I think, mothers of England, you can be just as ferocious and just as fierce if your cubs are being threatened. And I want to tell you that they are being threatened at this time. And so my word this week is really towards you girls. You can do an awful lot, and I'm sure that a lot of men will support you, but you can do an awful lot to protect your children. Sometimes I wonder if the government might not listen more to the mothers than even the fathers. I don't know. This government doesn't seem to be listening to anybody right now, apart from those who don't want to insure the dogs, of course. So, mothers of England, take encouragement from that. Maybe that you could be the ones that could come to the rescue of your children. I can't help but think what audacity, what arrogance that this government should think that they know how best to teach your children about sex better than you do, the parents. And likewise, what audacity the school teachers have, that they think that they know better how to teach your children about sex than you do. Well, that's another thought for the week. I look forward to speaking to you again the next time. In the meantime, God bless you. Think about what I've said. See if the Lord doesn't speak to your heart and show you what you can do. This doesn't just apply to women, of course. It applies to the men also. It's just a thought for women this week. Okay, God bless you. See you soon. Bye.